Look at all those beautiful hearts up in the room. Look at our love room, y'all. Look at our love room, y'all. I'm so happy you're here. I'm so happy you're on time. If you're new, we gotta welcome you. So this is just gonna make noise because it feels like, okay, now we did the whole thing. What happened? You see? We was so good. That's me. Hi, everyone. I'm JustLatasha. And if you're new, you are joining the HBO I May Destroy You Dissection series. This is my series on YouTube. You know, I couldn't get through with a great land and a great start. You know, you got to fumble your way through it. But we here, we back, and we're going to have a good time. We have so much to discuss tonight. I'm gonna need y'all help. I ain't gonna lie. Tonight is hella audience questions. I'm gonna need y'all to jump in. I see the chat going. It's gonna be hella audience questions tonight, so please stay present, stay engaged. We're gonna have a good time. This one's gonna be thick, like y'all's presidents say. Okay. Episode 8, line spectrum border. Before we go any further, please follow me on social media. I am JustLatasha on Instagram. I am JustLatasha404 on Twitter. I do have a Patreon, patreon.com/JustLatasha, where I offer extra content, my weekly boozy brunch Sundays, where we go down the week's biggest topics in Black culture, real time. What else I got? I got to send your script here for any screenwriters in the room, right? You guys get a one-on-one feedback with that tier. And like I'm doing tomorrow, is you gonna be there? Is you gonna be there? Tomorrow I am doing a dissection workshop. We will be breaking down the Oscar-winning film by, I don't want to mix it up, Bong Joon-ho, Parasites. Okay, extremely layered, extremely complex. People that purchased that tier on Patreon, they will be joining me in a very private workshop room tomorrow, 7 p.m. EST. Be there, be square. I see a ton of my patrons in the room right now. What's up, LB? I see Damien in here. I see Cali Girl in here. I see Mark in here. What's up? A Black H. Katab is always holding me down. I see a lot of my people in here. Natural Ali's here. Kenya's here. Patreon's there, right there. So Iconic, a Patreon is right there. I thank you guys for being here. Shout out to y'all. Look at all the hearts in the room. Y'all look so good. All right. Let's jump in. Episode 8, line spectrum border. Wow. I'm a slut, I'm a hoe, I'm a freak. Gotta open a shot every day of the week. It's cool, I'm gonna put a rush on ya. I just wanna know I got it on ya. All right, opening shot, a full circle. Y'all remember we was here? I'm gonna call it the sister circle. We was down to the sister circle. It's a full circle, y'all. Every seat in the house fills. Look at all these victims who need help, who need compassion, who need to relate to someone. My favorite part, I ain't gonna lie, Theo ain't say a word. Shh. Theo ain't say a word. Who took over? Bells. That's how they say her name. That's how they enunciate her name. Bells. Theo only piped up to remind the victim to call her abuser Bob. Do not say any personal names. But after that, Belle stepped up to the plate, okay? But something odd was here. Theo was in camouflage, right? Who's she hiding from? Who is she hiding from? Trying to blend in, trying to sneak up on the enemy, trying to catch somebody off guard, trying to disappear. Don't fall back now, because we done seen you. Didn't we drag her already in these last 2 dissections? We done seen you, Theo. Come on out and play with the girls. Ain't nobody finna jump you. Ain't nobody finna jump you. Come outside. Just like that. Come on, leader. The shero has entered the room. What about Bob? Let's talk about Bob. As this victim is speaking, she is describing Bob making her feel crazy for drawing boundaries, right? And Arabella is describing her like, yeah, he's gonna make you feel crazy. Yeah, he thinks you out of line, and let me tell you why. Bells gathered the girls, didn't she? She says that Bob plays on the border of crossing the line, right? These Bobs, like Zane, like these gray areas between assault and consent, premeditated, planned, totally knowing where that line is and just toting it. So you can't quite be mad because I didn't even do you like that, but they know they wrong still. And we have here Arabella beginning right down the line, splitting lines right here, right? So in this episode, we're going to see Arabella get in her own gray areas. We're going to see Arabella tote these boundaries as well. We're going to tote the line with bells tonight. All right. And one of the most powerful lines in this episode says, "We see you and the details, and we will show you what we mean by violation." Because Bob wasn't sure. Arabella says, "Let me make sure you're sure. Let me make you sure that I'm sure that you're sure, and we're going to violate." We'll talk about it when we get there. We will talk about it when we get there. Watch this. So last time, all of y'all and I asked and declared that Kwame shouldn't have even said anything to Arabella. Like, he didn't have to. And like, why, right? Like, why? And this is what I was afraid of happening. These are his two best friends. Arabella knows at this point that he was sexually assaulted. He reinstates it here in this scene, and you can tell they've already spoken about it because he says it plainly. But Miss Arabella has no comfort, no relation, no. Where did that shero go? Where's she? Why does she disappear when we get here? Why is she not her when we get here? Where does it go? Right? It's like her trauma, she only uses her trauma when it serves a grand purpose, not in the plainness of comforting a friend. And I'm looking at her outfit, dressed in all black like the Omen. Is she hiding something? Is she mourning something? Did we just shove it all down where we can't feel and address it? Has she gone numb? What does the black mean? First audience question of the night, because we going to work. First audience question of the night, we going to work. What do you guys think stops Arabella from being the hero that Kwame needs? Marichi said, "I hated that scene." What's up? And shout out to the Shy Podcast, Laura, who's in London town, who holds me down as a moderator each and every video. Thank you so much, Laura, for being here. Why isn't Arabella this hero that she made herself to be for Kwame in this moment? Iana asked, which tier is the movie Dissection? It is the Dissection Workshop tier on patreon.com/JustLatasha. It is the highest tier offered. You guys saying that it's because Kwame is a male. Maybe there's no extension, no sympathy for men who have experienced sexual assault. Maybe women just wear the "we are oppressed" cape and we don't show up for men where we need to show up. Danielle J says it may be because of her anger. KV says she has been changed, but she's still trying to get her old self back, which is why the pink wig keeps reappearing. KV, you going a little fast, babe. Let's stay present. That was great, though. That was great. Bianca says she is too wrapped up in her pain to recognize Kwame's. And this is why I said he should keep it. Terry wants to be the hero girl for both. Terry wants to be the healing. She wants to be the breath of fresh air for her friends. Give it to Terry. Leave it off Arabella. That's exactly what I thought he should have did. And that's what we all collectively kind of came to our last dissection, didn't we? Kwame's going to try a little trick. He's going to try this little, something tricky. The transfer of trauma. He wants to have sex with a woman to almost cleanse himself of this experience. If I have sex with a woman, if I do something I don't do, if I use my sexuality this way, maybe that thing will go away. Maybe I can start fresh. Do we have the time to discuss how Black men often use women's bodies to shove their pain into? Oh, we don't? Okay. But we also let's not be one-sided. Arabella also tried this with Zayn, you know? She had a very traumatic experience, and in trying to get her power back, let me try to conquer this next sexual experience. And that's what Zayn was for. So they both did it. Kwame, little beknownst to him, is following her exact pattern. So in this episode, we have mirror imaging. We have another symbolic theme here: the water, the cleansing, the rebirth. And him throwing water at his friends is just as symbolic as it'll appear in the rest of the episode, right? It has a double meaning right here. He tosses this water at his friends as a play on his splash release. But this also mirrors a baptism, a holy water, a rebirth. Your birth is my birth. A cleansing. We seen the lovely Catholics throwing that water down to the child over that pool in the church. Who'll be cleaning that water? We don't know. Let's move on. Oh, forgot to crop this one, but we're gonna go ahead and do it. I want to pay attention again to the colors that these friends are wearing, because they're actually having like fragments of each other in their fashion, in their clothes. We have Arabella in the black and green, and she's holding the book, The Sundial. I could not move on without paying attention to this detail. I had to know what this book was about, and something very interesting came up. In this book, The Sundial, there's a huge sundial in these characters' garden, and it stands out like this asymmetrical eyesore. This sundial in the garden is big and crooked, and you notice it, right? And it's in the middle of the mathematically perfect grounds that bears the legend, what is this world? It says that on the sundial, what is this world? Is a character that jumped out to me, and I related it to Arabella. Listen, I like to hypothesize in these dissections. I like to make connections. It don't mean it's fact, don't mean I'm God, all right? God is God, I am not. Shout out to the Jesus Christ. But this character jumped out at me, and the reading said, a spoiled and frightening child, Fancy, resents the idea that the world will be destroyed before she has a chance to live in it, and plays obsessively with her dollhouse, right? And I'm thinking of performances. I'm thinking of Arabella needing to control her image. You see her when her fans come up, even when she doesn't feel like taking a picture, even when she's bleeding from the head, even when she's A-okay. She wants her fans to think the world of her, no matter what her emotional state is. And she shows up for them whichever way it comes. There's this creating and controlling the imaging and the narrative. Arabella with her addiction to social media. She needs to be playing the Shira role. Even when she puts that phone down, she's not showing up like that to her personal friend. She's not this big hero guy, right? It feels like a performance in the sister circle, where she's overpowering the conversation, and she's got all the answers, and she's sharp, and she knows. A lot of performances, a lot of controlling how people view her. And it don't go unnoticed on me that her friends, Kwame and Terry, are never invited to Sister Circle. So the people that know her the best ain't allowed in those spaces where she performs and put on her front. They're gonna see right through that mask. That's gonna come back up, put a pin in it. Let's look at Terry, who's in camouflage. We see the red on the head wrap, right? We've talked about Terry's guilt, Terry's wound, Terry's shame. But I want to look at this camouflage shirt, because we opened this series with Theo in camouflage. So audience question, diving right in with this audience question. Do Terry and Theo have something in common? Do Terry and Theo have something in common? I want to see the brain caps on. I want to see the aluminum foil on your head. I want to see the antennas going up. I want to hear them thumbs doing a Google search. I want to see it. Welcome to the room, CJ. You ain't late, you right on time. What up, Beat for Cheap? It's cool. Welcome, come on in. Naturala says a great point. She didn't even invite Kwame to the sister circle after being told he'd been sexually assaulted. But don't she got the tools and the network and the connect? How she can't help? Baby, who was you fooling? Audience question: do Terry and Theo have something in common? Jay Wesley, thank you so much for that super chat. That is very kind of you for the cash donation. Damien Trini Boy says hiding truths from Arabella. That's what they got in common. That's what they got in common. Yes, Shy Podcast. Terry did offer to go with Arabella to Sister Circle, and Arabella said, nope. She didn't allow her to come. Drea Smith says Terry and Theo both hypocrites, both with hidden motives. It's getting dark in here. It's getting dark in here. The Magic Hour Z says neither admits to anything, wrong, lies, etc. Sister Punk says they feel fulfilled in helping. Ooh, they hide in truths. They both carry guilt. Yamkela Grace says that. Ooh, thank you, Trini Boy, for the super chat. It's very, very cute and kind. Ooh, y'all say they lying. Uh-oh. It's getting dark. It's getting dark in here. It's getting dark in here. Now, Arabella and Terry both have on black and green at the top, but let's go down to the legs. This is where we split. This is where we draw lines. This is where we split. Now, when something comes full circle, something has to die in order to be reborn. Don't let that go over your head. Your birth is my birth. Your death is my death. I love you, my G. I love you more. Don't let that go over your head. When something comes full circle, something got to die in order for something to take place and be reborn. So, but I'm looking at Terry's gray. We're playing in that gray area. We're looking at these gray/white pants, right? I believe something is going to end for these friends. Some world, some old experience, some old identity. Something is going to end for these friends. But Terry may be heading to the end of that world with good intentions. Arabella, for me, she's leaning into a little bit of darkness, and especially comes off that first line. We'll show them how to violate. We show them leaning into that darkness. Is she going to use something a little heavy, a little dark to prove her point to the world? She needs to say something to the world. Versus Kwame, who's back in this beautiful, I love this Sherlin, this white coat that he has on, this fragmented white coat, but of course he has like this burnt orange, reddish beanie on, because that wound is coming. Wherever you're going, the wound is coming, okay? But the white means Kwame is trying to start a new journey, and he said, I'm about to sleep with a girl. He's beginning a new journey, putting on a new persona, but he cannot do it without bringing that wound along, whether he wants to or not, right? And they have all these fragments where they realign. They're sharing each other's colors. They're pieces of each other along this journey. I'm going to go back to Arabella's performance in the Sister Circle. Now, she gets the scarf on. She puts the scarf on the bald head, and she becomes this Shiro. And the Shiro disappears and the scarf comes off. I just think this is just one of these prop uses to let you know where she really at, right? What her intention is when she shows up to these different spaces. She ain't got to put the scarf on her friend. She's going to be 100% Arabella. They know her. In Sister Circle, she got to be a little more. Let me tie that scarf on and it's just one of those things where we notice, especially like someone said earlier, the change of the wigs, which is heavy in this episode. Let's do it. Y'all, there was so much symbolism in this scene alone. Like, I just couldn't. So much symbolism in this scene. I was just kind of blown away. Let's talk about 11:11, because I've spoken about numerology being used in this show before. And at first I thought I was doing too much, but now it's solidified. I know what the hell I'm doing, okay? I know what the heck I am doing. They are definitely using numerology in here. And 11:11 is representative of mirror imaging, right? 11:11 is also representative of portals opening to new journeys, new manifestations, new paths taken. And we can look at these two sets of women literally looking like twins, looking like 11:11, and their colors mirror each other. We have Terry across from this white detective, both dressed in green, and we got Arabella sitting right across from this black detective, both in red. Flip flop, jim jam, right? This is coming to another full circle. We are at the end of this assault investigation, and we can look at the colors to see what is where. The death of old Arabella at the site of her trauma. You know, a part of her stayed in that stall. A part of her was lost in that red bathroom stall, right? Something with Arabella died in that stall, but she comes here at the end of her assault investigation and meets the birth of oncoming children. They're pregnant. New life enters. And that's where both of these new life is entering. So I started to ask myself, like, what could this all mean? Well, what are we solving for the new generation when it comes to sexual assault? These babies that are still rocking in these ovens, are they going to be lining up for the same violence in their lifetime? Y'all couldn't find no answers. Detectives just said we ran out and that's it. So what happens, right? What world needs to be destroyed in order to create a new future? What do we have to kill here? YouTube don't like that word, but we did it. What do we have to kill here to create a new future? So the abuser just gets to go on and live a happy-go-life and that's it? He just gets to do that? Not good enough for me. So this is the end of Arabella's road for this particular journey. And now she has to decide a new one. Where will we go from here? Okay. Now you think after being told something like that, the investigation's closed, we have no answers, we're moving on, sorry to tell you, there'll be rage and red. I'll be on fire. But it's cool, it's icy. It's cool. You know when somebody's so mad they get calm? That ain't good. It's never good. If I had to fight somebody, you gotta be jumping and at me and we going and I want your friends holding you back and I want to see the vibe. If I'm trying to fight somebody and they like, all right, so what you want to do? I'm probably gonna like leave and like exit right about there. Like I'm probably not gonna stay. I'm gonna come up with like a really intelligent way to just be like, we black, we shouldn't be doing this black on black crime on each other. We should be throw them hearts up. If you come, this icy blue is scurry. I can't. Leslie J says this is where the stress begins. Sarai Washington says she's suppressing. KV says she was traumatized. That is coming. It got cold is how mad she was. It got cold. I ain't with it. But on the other hand, there's too much red around Terry. And we said this before. Too much red around Terry. And we get it. She guilty. She feels shame. And we got that. But it's something else. You don't just align Terry with all the red in the room. Ain't no red around Arabella. You don't just align Terry with all the red in the room and by the knife drop point. It's giving to Terry stab Arabella in the back. It's giving betrayal. It's giving violence. It's giving unsolved murder mystery. Knife drop. And they do this shot when Terry says, I got you. Well, we know you ain't had her twice now. The gag is. Face crack. The gag is you ain't had her twice now. Knife drop. Audience question. Why do I do this to y'all? Audience question. Come on. Arabella tells Terry that she isn't affirming her by not allowing her to go to Italy, aka go ahead and make a bad decision. Did Arabella just gaslight Terry? Terry put up some boundaries. Terry explained why it's bad and why it's not aligned with self-care. She made it very clear. And Arabella did something there. She used her words and put it in a thing and did something there. Did Arabella just gaslight Terry? Uh-oh, KV says Terry is not a good friend. I don't give a F how upset she was with Arabella in Italy. How the F are you gonna go leave your friend knowing she's high and out of her mind? Like, what the F? I see y'all. Yes, she did. Likely she manipulated her. Yep, she definitely did and played her with guilt. They're all bad friends. The magic hour. Y'all called it manipulation. Jordan Kelly says, real friends don't encourage self-destructive behavior. Gaslighting as hell. Sister Punk says, yes, that was so manipulative. Terry is allowed to have boundaries even when affirming her friend. And Arabella knows what she is doing is toxic. Bianca says she weaponized their friendship. I want to end on that one. That was good. She weaponized their friendship to get what she wants out of the situation. Here's Arabella playing in the gray area, y'all. Using a malicious mental trick. What about Bob? Using a malicious mental trick to get what she wants. And what she want to do? We got to get that trauma down. It's too much. We got to shove the mess under that trauma. We can look at the colors here and see Arabella had two choices to make and which one she chose. We had an out. You had the sister circle, you had Terry's, you had so much. You have yellow, the optimism, the joy. You could have chose that. But she's leaning into that monster jacket. We see that monster jacket pop up as it's been through her with every pain and every turmoil, every trauma. And look, she is shoving her mess under the trauma. She is putting her stuff right under, let's shove it on down, right? Sweeping it under the rug. Look how crowded her room is. Look how suffocating her room is, right? And when she emerges, she comes out between the two monsters, one she dawns and one she created. When she emerges from the mess, she arises between two monsters. Let's lean into it. We seen that all Black early. She want to lean into that darkness. She want to violate. Okay. And let's get human here for victims and for humans. Not that those are exclusive or separate, but let's get human for a second. Sometimes when you're wounded, what soothes you and what makes sense to you are more things that match that wound, right? Because you're in pain, you think you deserve pain. And because you're in pain, what feels familiar is more pain. That communicates to you different. When you're in pain and somebody shows you love and joy, you're kind of like, what is that? That's not, But then you go after that toxic person that don't call you back, don't compliment you, don't take you on dates, don't make you feel special, because it's matching that value that you have inside. You know what I mean? How so, Tosh? We put that trauma wig back on real quick. Let's get back to the mirror imaging. Heavy theme in this episode. Let's get back. Woo, we have Arabella split between her identities, facing. We was doing so good, Bells. We was doing so good, facing the traumatized girl who died in that bathroom stall, right? What feels familiar to Arabella right now is the victimized version. Shero's not working. There was no reward in being the hero. There's no reward in walking the line of righteousness. I reported like I was supposed to. I cooperated like I was supposed to. I made different decisions like I was supposed to. I'm doing my therapy and the abuser is gone. Untouched, unbothered, uncaught. So what feels familiar right now? Shero's a dud. But when I was flying high, when I was the victim, that and this just reminds you that healing is not linear. There's going to be relapse. Sometimes it's 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Sometimes it's ugly and messy and confusing, and it's back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And everyone makes these stumbles. Everyone makes these mistakes when there's something that really, really hurts and you're trying to get it out. Look at what our friends used to be. Nostalgia back in the day before that thing happened and hurt this group so terribly before that thing happened. All in white, no, carefree, joyous, lighthearted. Look at where our friends used to be. She want to go back so bad. She want to go back to the old world so bad. But let's remember what happened in the other episode. We remember that red apple / that pomegranate. And what happened in Genesis? Once the first original human beings that God made ate that apple of sin in a garden, ain't no going back. Your eyes have been open. You've seen too much. You'll never go back. You've crossed the line of sin. You've crossed the line of trauma. You've crossed the line of pain. You've seen too much. You can't go back. I'm sorry, girl. I'm sorry. This scene got me. This shot right here got me, okay? There's been 3 identities all along, and I low-key missed it. There's been 3 identities all along. Look who we got. Pink wig, thick ass giving whiplash in a monster coat, right? Monster. Arabella, the victim, running out of the door. The traumatized, running out of the door. Arabella, the hero and the authentic, the bald Arabella stays in the room. She got to leave her behind. I call this one, the last one, the supremacy wig. This when you got to perform your blackness to corporate white spaces so you can survive and get a check and be well. That's the supremacy wig. We got 3 performances, 3 identities going on for Bells. That scene got me. That was slick, Jack. That was slick. Let's get to Kwame because his storyline was a lot. I'm gonna need y'all help. I really am gonna need y'all help. I like your hair to a white lady. I like your hair to a white when there's beautiful, bountiful, black, natural hair just 2 feet beyond. Hey, Max Data, welcome. Are we performing Kwame? And I almost called him Kanye earlier because I was like, I can't tell the difference. Is this a performance to gain this white lady's trust? Does he not know how to flirt? Is he just telling her what she wants, what he thinks she want to hear? I like your hair to a white. Excuse me? Excuse me? Y'all said she is insufferable. Exactly. Katie says that white lady had too mediocre to be good or bad. It's the neutral, baby. Stop. Stop. I couldn't wrap my head around it. And the gag was she hates her hair when her hair is the standard. Black women, we are encouraged to lay this down, flatten, straighten it, hide under. We got our supremacy wigs in the bag. Her hair is a standard and she has the nerve to hate it. We think of Terry Rejected from the feminist beauty campaign. We think of Arabella's white supremacy wig. Who are you to hate? Who are you to hate your hair? Is the hat wig for white? Is she serving wig via hat? I also want to pay attention real quick to the floor. A lot of this is this comes from Illuminati Masonic imagery. Checkered floor usually represents a split in identity and personality. We have 2 people fronting on each other right now. We have 2 people performing right now. We have 2 people not deciding who they want to be. Hidden agendas, putting on masks, splitting identity. It came out, the truth came out real quick in this shot. He chose this new journey. You see that big green plant? He chose this new journey, but that truth and that trauma sitting right there. Look at him. It poked out real quick. This is when she took off the hat. The performance is off. And I think about Arabella putting on a scarf in Sister Circle and taking it off for her friends, putting the performance down. Her taking off this hat, it's giving and scene. I ain't like that. I didn't like it. Okay? Ayala, that hat covered nothing. What are we doing? What are we doing? Beautiful shot, and it means so much. Arabella wants a fresh start with Biaga. Look at this white light. Look at these clean lines. Look at this breath of fresh air, this open space, this structured, clean, manicured, perfected open space. She wants a fresh start. And she's got a plan. But what's she wearing, baby? That monster jacket ain't going nowhere. She bringing that wound right with her. Now, I told y'all this series is big on numerology, and I'm gonna prove it to you right now because you ain't believe me the first 2 times. Maybe the 3rd time's the charm. Here we go. The numerology number 4 is a conscientious, I knew I wasn't gonna be able to say that word today. I saw it and I was like, it's gonna be the one. Let me start over. Here we go. Here we go. The numerology number 4 is a conscientious number with a focus on long-term security. The numerology number 4 is a number of focus, a focus on building a secure foundation for the future. She want to start over with Biagio. We was playing before. I was coming in and out this damn Italy. I was a maybe, but I need something real, boo. I want you to be my man. I'm trying to claim you. What's up? Right? This is look at all the lines, literally crossing lines. This is a premeditated plan in action. Structured lines show planning, show formatting, right? She's coming in hot. Let's get back on this date real quick, because I don't know. Let's get back on this date. We have to. The supremacy jumped out. The supremacy jumped out. Kwame following her into the night. And even though this couple's having a good time, they agree, they're consenting, they're joyous, it just looks threatening. Just the optics, it just looks threatening. Nighttime, man following woman, Black man following white woman, who would always be the damsel who needs saving, no matter what her intentions are. We didn't even look at what she's trying to do and what she's trying to get out of it yet. She's always the damsel who needs saving. Look at them red popping out behind Kwame, right? The wounds is right there, driving him forward. He's on a run from these wounds. Now we're gonna get tricky. Put your seatbelts on, y'all. Because we getting into film right now. We getting into film right now. Here we go. So the camera does something here called a tracking shot. And a tracking shot is where the camera physically follows your characters. It could be walking with you. It could be on a dolly, driving with you. The tracking shot is following the physical movement of wherever you're going. So this is what's happening with the camera right here. So we've been talking about crossing lines. We've been talking about toting the boundary. We've been talking about these gray areas. And in this tracking shot, we have our twosome here. And they come just like this. You guys see it right here on the screen. They come aligned. Now, I mentioned this before, but if anybody's new or doesn't remember, I will repeat. When you are filming something, there's something called a 180 rule. You have to pick a side and stay on the side. So if y'all are seeing me on TV from right here, the entire scene is going to have me right about here. If it means something for us to flip, which I've pointed out in a previous dissection, when we met Theo as a child, they broke the 180 rule by flipping it to show that she had another identity. You don't often do that. It's a rule you don't make because it's disorienting for your audience. So right here, I thought they was gonna break the 180 rule. I thought Kwame was gonna be here, switch, and they was gonna come on the other side. And I was waiting for it, but he don't. He gets right back where he's toting the line. You know where that boundary is, but you playing right on that line, right? And he comes right back. They don't cross it. It's so good. It's so good. Here's where he's on that boundary. He might cross the line. This is where he's on that boundary when she asked him, Are you interested in Black, white, Greek girls? Technically, no, because he don't like girls. But he doesn't specify. So technically, he isn't wrong. He's playing in that gray area. I ain't gonna tell the truth, but I ain't not going not. Still deceitful. Playing on that, you playing. What about Bob? You're playing on that boundary because you know it's wrong, right? But technically, I ain't really do it. He gets back in line. Whew. We stay on the same side of that 180. We didn't cross the line. We stayed on the same side. But then something interesting happens right here. Another line is drawn, and this is exactly where he does lie. He does cross the line. See, now she's honest about using him. I like black guys. I'm here to get the BBC. We're going to have a good time. Still nasty, still supremacy. It's still giving supremacy. But she's honest, still using, but she's honest. And he sells himself. Well, I'm a black guy, so what's up? Now that's the lie. You don't sell yourself as her type because you ain't straight. Like you're lying, okay? You can't do that. LS says she made her fetish known. Absolutely. Absolutely. Sister Punk says she's getting off on this whole snow bunny thing and it felt so gross but expected. Absolutely. It's giving Kardashian. We only date black guys, but what lives matter? We have no idea. Right. So he right here, he crosses the line, right? He lies. Look at Arabella playing on her boundary, playing within her gray area. Look at her right between these two towers, right? I want to pay attention to the numbers because y'all think I'm playing. Let's pay attention to the numbers. Biagio lives at building 18. In numerology, you combine each single digit, so you get another single digit. 18 equals 9, 1 plus 8 equals 9. We're back to our full circle moment. This is the end of the road. We're coming down to an ending, and a world must end. A world must be destroyed for a new one to be rebirthed. Look at her playing in that gray area. You wasn't, why is you here? Crossing the line. Literally crossing the line. The gate is a literal boundary, and she sneaks her way in with good intentions. Hi, Bob. Look at her good intentions. I'm just gonna force my way into your space, even though you're clearly not answering my calls. I can't contact you. I'm clearly not invited. And this is where the gray area happens, because in old pretenses, in their old world, in their old identities, pre-trauma, there was consent. Of course you can come over. I would love to have your company. Here's my address. You know where the key is. In the old world, you're absolutely welcome. But we changed something here, right? Something happened to us. You ain't under the same content. You ain't under this, you ain't under the same pretenses. You ain't under the same boundaries of consent, because I don't like you like that right now, right? And once you betray those boundaries, you're betraying consent, which is similar to what Kwame's doing right now on his date. Liana George says, Bella was bugged. Miss Andrews 87 says, I couldn't believe she was doing this. I was like, go home, girl. Yes, giving Carrie Bradshaw visits Aiden in the middle of the night for no reason. Crazy. Look at this shot. She's still crossing many lines. Very intentional shooting right here. She's crossing the horizontal line. She's crossing the vertical. She's crossing every line she comes across. Crossing a line. Crossing the line. Biagio is not physically and consciously present to give her consent to enter his space. He's not there. You cannot enter, right? And this mirrors her unconsciousness when her body was being used back in that bathroom stall. She wasn't conscious to give consent. Also, her lack of consciousness of Zane's behavior behind her back. removing the condom, Zane playing in that gray area, crossing the boundaries of consent. Look how she's mirroring it. She's doing everything that happened to her against someone else, even someone who was in the wrong already. We was ready to curse him out. That was easy, Bells. What happened? Let's get back on this date. I mean, this date. Oh, Kwame literally in gray, playing in that gray area. Look at his body language, literally pulling away from her. It couldn't be more clear. And listen, she's not forcing him. He's there, right? He's willingly in her space. He's willingly in her bed. He willingly followed her home. She ain't got nothing to his head. She ain't forcing him, but she's kind of I need an enthusiastic yes. Who hears me? Consent. I need an enthusiastic yes. You're giving that sometimes maybe, I don't know, leaning back. We're not doing a goddamn thing. Not tonight, not in this house. Sarai Washington says she's a pusher. CJ Lorraine says, of course, her just showing up and letting herself in. Are we talking about Arabella? Of course, Arabella just showing up and letting herself in was a shock. But, Biagio was an entire piece of shit in the way he handled that situation. They said two wrongs don't make it right. I don't want to have to fight. I'm trying to make, I don't know the words anymore, but you get the thing. It's two wrongs. CJ, don't be putting no but there. It's two wrongs. Enter Biagio. Look at these lines behind him, sharp, ready for war, dark, sharp, tall, big lines, looking like defense, right? Look at the intensity in his eyes. I don't even know how to spot it. Is it fear? Is it shock? Is it rage? Is it surprise? Like it's anything but, wow, like my babe is here. It's not giving that. That we can be sure of. So audience question. CJ hit on it just a little bit. CJ spoke about it, but audience question, if the roles were reversed, would this be a point of worry or concern? Is it a gray area because she's a woman? Katia Bia Grove says, I hate the fact that Arabella apologized. I hated it. Let's go back to the number 4, Katia. Arabella right now is floating in the wind. She's looking for anything familiar. She's looking for stability. She's looking for structure. She's focusing on recreating a foundation, something she can rely on. And who has been there from the beginning? And of course, when you feel rejected, when you feel violated, you draw yourself to someone who reflects that in you again. He rejects her after the world rejected her. He matches the foundation she thinks is familiar. So let's get back to that audience question. Would this be a point of worry or concern if the roles were reversed? Is she safe because she's a woman? So Iconic says, no, it's not gray, it is wrong. Light Mission 23 says, yep, roles reversed, she would feel violated. Can you imagine coming home and some man is in your house eating? Acting like nothing's wrong. Didn't we just see that in The Fatal Affair on Netflix? A. Brad says, concern, don't show up like that. You know the situation. Rye Gresham says, especially after she already made him go to forensics. He kind of had a right to be scared. Just think if a woman had cut a guy off like that, then he was just in your house. Ayala reconfirms Arabella has a hard time respecting boundaries. And we've seen that all season. We've seen that all season. Sarai Washington says Biagio is her last safe space and she got cut off and now she is catapulted into reality. She has to face those facts. Well, let's face them then. Let's face it. But first, we got to turn around because we are in doggy style. Kwame is giving it to this lovely white with the bad hair. Is she the danger? She's wearing this red bra. There's red specks all over her room. Her light is red, right? She's using his blackness for her pleasure, but she was honest about it. You know, black men be lining up to be used for slave play, and my grandma's still racist, so sorry about that. And my dad might shoot you when you try to take me to prom. Black men love that. They love lining up for that if we're going to be right. And right here, we have another mirror image. This is a role reversal. She takes the place of when he was the victim with Horny Man 808, and he becomes Horny Man 808. 808 being a mirror image number. No matter what distraction he chooses, no matter what choice he makes, he cannot avoid this wound as hard as he tries. This theme of mirror imaging is let's take a look at the other side. Let's take a look at how we assault versus being assaulted. What things, even the road to hell is painted with great intentions. I mean harm. I mean, do you like that? But I totally violated you. Would y'all consider this an assault? What Kwame is doing, is this an assault? Having sex with her under false pretenses? Ooh. Ooh. Nisa Clayton says, poor thing, he don't know what to do. Ain't that right? Jewel Lauren says, plus horrible form, please arch at least. Bend that back, ma'am. Supposed to be a concave, not a camel hump. Did Kwame assault? Bianca Branch says he became Horny Man because she wanted him to take that role. She was giving consent. Maybe this was just in his head. Maybe it was just a trigger. Jordan Kelly says this whole story really was just hitting on disclosure, whether or not bisexuality, covert racist intent, or anything else in between. Be honest, say it. Say it. You mean nothing to me except that BBC. Just say it. Sherry B says there was zero chemistry between them. A Black H, shout out to Mark, says, I don't think Karen, okay. I don't even know her name, right? Was she nameless in this episode, or do I just do that thing where I just block it out? A Black H says, I don't think Karen violated Kwame, especially when she was totally honest about her gross fetish, but I do think her lack of ability to read his body language was reflective of how she views Black men. You're an object and you are here to serve me and my pleasure, and I will send you on your way. Ooh, KV takes it a step further. What if she was able to take what he did to heart and report him? 100%, it's your choice. Wait a minute, I think I got confused. I'm not sure what that's in regard to. My bad. And Coralie for MVP says, yes, it's a form of manipulation. I agreed to have sex with you under these confines, these boundaries, these rules. If you are sleeping with me outside of what we agreed upon, it is an assault. You've broken my boundary of consent. Now you are entering my space and my body in a way that I didn't approve. You're putting me in a sexual position. You're not allowing me my full body autonomy and agency. She got the key, the key, the key. She got the key, the key, the key. The key represents an old form of consent. Like we said, when she was outside the gate, you used to be able to walk up in here. But since that trauma, y'all see all them red on the table, since that trauma and all that mess, We in a different space now, right? You were welcome under old pretenses. And this is the old world that Arabella is chasing. She just wants to go back to that good spot again, that wants to go back to that good space again. But that world was destroyed after her original assault. It's gone, right? Look at all this green. She wishes so bad that this could be a new space for them. She wants to start over. Let's build a new foundation, please. Y'all go seeing in black and white, and then the door's closed. It's an absolutely not. Get out of here. It's a no, sis. We knew we was in trouble right about here. I said, oh. Now, I didn't see what was coming up to have been coming up, but we knew we was in trouble right about here. We got a problem. The door's closed. Let's talk about this outburst. Giving very Rue euphoria. Open the door fast. You did this to me. You have one fucking brain cell left. You drop out drug dealer. Open the door. Open the door. Open the door. Open the door. Giving very euphoria. This outburst. She is devastated. But look at the violence that comes, just like the rest of these assaulters, when she is not allowed to cross his boundaries. The violence that comes. You're not letting me impose myself on you. How dare you? Roles reversed. He appeased her to stay safe. How many women make this choice when it comes to men? I'm being nice to you in the moment because if I don't, and if I make these boundaries clear, you're going to get real violent and angry with me, and then I'm unsafe. Biagio appeasing her to be safe. Here's some money. Go get the pizza. I got you, girl. Blah, blah, blah. Right? Right? Here's your passport. Take that one with you when you go. Take it with you. That red passport, take that with you. Literally recreating her original sexual assault. That pounding that was in her head. She didn't even know it was a memory yet. We heard the pounding. We seen the door going, the banging on the stalls, the rage, the fierce rage in that man, that white man's eyes, grabbing the stalls, forcing himself in her body, recreating that. This is her boundless rage, everything that she's been swallowing back when she went icy blue, when you was calm. So I don't want to fight nobody calm. When she was calm, that violence and that anger went somewhere. We couldn't see where. It's out now. Full rage on display. And Biagio's a casualty. He got caught in the crossfire. He got caught in the crossfire. Drea Smith says, he went from playing in blood to about to spill some blood. Ellie said he came out holding that thing. He had that thing on him. He sure did. He sure did. End zone. He sure did. I'm over this couple. Is Kwame in Horny Man's outfit? Is Kwame in Horny Man 808's outfit? However, his black clothing does align with Arabella's black attire in the beginning. The worlds are ending. This is a funeral. Bury it, lay it to rest. Worlds are ending. See, now, when you go out and try to distract yourself, it ain't the one you thought it was, okay? And the white girl says something real funky here. She says she's a sociopath laying dormant in her brain. Check. Yeah. 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 So we have this white lady partaking in black culture and black bodies while exploiting black sexuality. On the other side, Kwame ain't that far off. They look alike. Exploiting her for her gender and her body. Using each other. Baby, get some AA batteries and call it a night. What are we doing? Stop including humans in your trash. Don't do that. Now, something really cool happens here. See, they're totally aligned, going over hip hop, chilling, whatever. But something happened. He get up a little bit. We disconnect just a little bit. Because why are you making up an N word when you could just say the N word? Why are you doing all that? Don't make no sense. Then we get real far away because something here he don't like. He totally detaches here. And I want to ask y'all, what the hell wrong with Kanye? Who encourages her to say the full N word, but he's mad and put that boundary up by the F word, that slur for gay people. He put that boundary all the way. He said all the way, but I'm gonna get away from her real quick, right? Black gay men often hear this really ignorant phrase that go a little something like this: "You're black before you're gay." There are actually multiple identities and multiple life experiences that I'm living simultaneously. They happen all at the same time because it's the encompassment of who I am, like as a person, right? You're that really ignorant. You're black before you're gay. And many gay Black men have felt ostracized from Blackness because of their sexuality. You're not allowed here because you on that gay shit. We ain't allowed here. They've been ostracized from their own community. So this may be him unconsciously choosing a side. He don't even blink at the N word because he know he's been rejected from that space for a minute. But when it comes to the F word, now wait a second, because that's who I am. So what was that? Right? He didn't even realize that he had those feelings. He was lackluster about the N word, but that F word. Wait a minute. Let me sit back and look at you. He didn't even realize he did it, right? Naturala Ari is yelling at me. I don't know. KS says maybe identifying with his sexuality and not his race. A Brad says intersectionality. A Black H says Kwame is going to be more triggered by homophobia because if you're in Black communities, you hear the F word more than the N word. And that's what I was landing on, right? These companies, I need checks. These communities, these Black communities do not extend the brotherhood when it comes to sexuality. You're outcast, right? Here's another thing. Kwame doesn't realize that his sexuality threatened the choice of this straight woman. See, he's Black and he's gay. He's the oppressed one. But wait a minute. The oppressed is oppressing, using his sexuality as what? I'm gay. We did not agree for you to be gay and come in here and sleep with me. It's not fine because it's not fine when Arabella is the oppressed woman and so she can enter somebody's space. And it's not fine that Kwame is the gay Black man so he gets to go on and oppress. No, everybody gotta respect everybody. You can't do that. Very simple. Full moons, again, bringing back the imagery of full circles. This world has come to an end. This little date night has come to an end. It is destroyed, and Kwame has to once again find a new journey. We're done here. Look at all these circles. Look at all these full moons. Look at it. Look at the material. Look at this one. Violently crossing boundaries, fighting the lock on the door. I'm going to enter this space, even though it is bolted and clear. I am not allowed here, right? We have the double dolphins, or again, we're doing this mirror image. Let's look at both sides. Let's tote the line of that boundary between consent and assault. Let's play in that gray area. All of it is coming to a head in the visual imagery of this episode. The new path ain't work out so well. Kwame's pattern is following right behind Arabella's pattern. See, she tried something old to get to a new place. Don't get me started. I learned that lesson while meditating. You cannot use old tools to get to a new place. Arabella tried an old tool. Biagio is done, baby. You're no longer the same person. You will never be that old girl again. You never be pink wig, thick ass, giving whiplash. You're not her anymore. Whoever emerged out of that bathroom stall is forever changed. You have to do something different, right? Kwame's on his relapse. We're going back to our old ways because this is stable, this is comfortable, this is familiar. I need something foundational right now to get me through this. I can't shake this. Him trying something new is not solving the thing. We got to go back. Let's look at number 4. Look at that last text message. What we said, we are dying to prove a sense of security through familiarity. That's what number 4 represents. Even though it's something that put him in danger, even if it's something that he doesn't quite enjoy anymore, he got to try it. He has to try this old pattern again. Maybe it'll bring him something that he needs. Take me to the water. Said I'm waiting. Take me to the water. Audience question, final audience question of the night. Why the water? Why the water? Wait. A Black H says Kwame is regressing by engaging in the apps without facing the trauma and healing. Wait. Mara Cheese says Kwame's trajectory worries me. Bianca Branch says he is going back to what he feels he can control. Say, wait in the water, children. And Liana says, Bella, go home. Bianca Branch hit it, rebirth. Corley 4 MVP said it, a way to renew. Sarai Washington said it, a cleanse. CJ, rebirth. Jasna, rebirth. Crown Kataba, water is cleansing. Jules says, there's a safeness in the water. Now, I was swimming this summer. I ain't like that water this summer. Trini Boy says rebirth. Y'all exactly right. The cycle is done. We remember Kwame splashing his friends with that water, that holy water. Even the music going over this is gospel. Holy music going over this moment. The baptism, the cleansing, the rebirth, the full circle. We are coming out anew. We have to. But I fear something, y'all, because something happened right at the tippy end of this episode. Something happened. I want to remind you to become Patreons to be included in the private Sunday Boozy Brunch Sundays for the $5 tier. Become a Patreon today for the Send Your Script tier and the Dissection Workshop tier. The monthly dissection is happening tomorrow at 7 p.m. We are breaking down Parasite by the Dissection tier tonight or tomorrow morning. To join, before we get to the last peek of what this episode gave, because something came out the water, all right. I want to remind y'all to follow me on social media, JustLatasha on Instagram, JustLatasha404 on Twitter. I want to tell y'all what happened in that water. Something came back out, all right. When she came out of that water, the holy music stopped and there was this beastly growl. Now, we've seen her submerge in her bedroom under that mess and shove her trauma under that bed where the monster jacket was hanging. And when she came out, she was between that monster jacket and that monster painting, that grief painting. Something nasty came out that water. I would love for her to be healed and made anew and walking in the Shiro, but it's been given a sign since the beginning. She's been leaning into that darkness. She leans into that darkness, baby. Wow. Something nasty is coming out of that water because she's hurt. Don't forget, hurt people, and she will use it. She's going to use it. You guys, I thank you for being here for the I May Destroy You HBO Dissection Review Series. I'm your host, JustLatasha. I said all I had to say. You know where to follow me on social media. You know where to get the extra weekly streams every Sunday. You know where to go. I love you. Thank you so much. Thank you for being a part of here. To everyone who sent a super chat, I thank you so much. It helps me so much as a creator for you to share the work. Let's thumbs up before you leave. Let's subscribe before you leave. Let's share the content before you leave. And of course, if it hits you in your heart, hit me in the pockets. Only if you're called to it. Okay? Only if you're called to it. Thank you for being here. You guys are amazing. Throw some hearts up in the room on the way out. I love you all. I'll see you on the internet. Bye.